Joe put together a nice show for us. We'll find out shortly, I'm sure. One little announcement, there is a program called that Dan Larson put together called The Power of the River. It's going to be on August 23rd. We put tickets out on sale for the 7 o'clock showing and sold it out. And then of course it was in the newspaper today after we sold it out, so we did add a second showing on at 5 o'clock. So if you're interested in coming to that, it's a wonderful 55-minute long program on the Fox River. Dan Larson generously is donating all the proceeds that we get that evening to the De Pere Historical Society Building Fund that we have. It should be a fun time. Hopefully we sell out the second program. Down in the valley they're doing one, I believe, in Oshkosh. They haven't sold out, but then I was told that that place seats like 800 people, so the De Pere Theater, I think 150. So we're doing it twice here. All right, Joe, we're ready to go.
You want to open the fire department?
Sure. We'll start out with the fire department. The fire department is celebrating their 150th year in De Pere. At one time, the east side had the fire department. You'll notice in some of the photos that we have, there's number 1. Just for reference, the number 1 fire department, and this is not meant to say one's better than the other or anything like that, but the number 1 fire department was the East Side Fire Department, and the number 2 fire department was the West Side Fire Department. Don't read anything into that. And then the other references that they'll make, the East Side one was referred to as the Badger Fire Department, and the West Side one was the Columbia Fire Department. So we've got a smattering of photos, a collection of things, not in any particular order, of the fire departments that we have, and then also some action shots.
Which one used kerosene to put out the fires? Well, we'll start out with this.
Oh my.
And this, I believe, this would be the West Side Fire Department, judged by the building in the background.
Yeah, it's the old police department.
And I'm assuming it's probably about 99% volunteer fire department in this photo there. Note the horn in the gentleman's hand in the front row there. Kind of zoom in on that. There's actually a parade that they did in the 1970s where we'll see that horn or one very similar to that being shown. No. I would guess the 1880s.
1880s. Oh my goodness.
Actually, go back to that once, Joe. Now I'm looking at it. Oh. No, there's no way to tell.
There's still a
Yeah,
horse.
again,
It's the 1880s, because look at the windows there had already been rehabbed.
True, they're not
They used
round.
to have curved windows there, and then they put in
So maybe
from
1910.
Menards, I think they got these.
This shot is the first fire truck purchased in 1925 by the fire department. You see the little doggy up there? That's one that got away from us. Right up in there, driving the truck. If you go back to that, Joe, the prior one, there's kind of a little hook and ladder set up on that. And there was an article in the 1920s in the De Pere Journal that talked about the fireman that was on the back of the truck that when they were pulling it out of the garage forgot to duck. And they had to bring him to the hospital as a result. He was okay. Always duck.
Only do that once.
And there's the City Hall.
So this is a 1930s vintage?
Yeah, 1935, I think you said, is when they purchased that one. And the City Hall building, the City Hall offices were upstairs. The building to the left was the Lee Brothers, the Lee storage building.
Oh.
Up and down. This is on Broadway. This is adjacent to the Union Hotel. The City Hall building that you see in the picture was built in 1873. And just a shot.
You don't know who they are, I can't make out.
Yeah, but it's part of the collection, so it's probably De Pere. This shot was taken, in fact, go back to, notice that ball in the front of there? This looks like the same fire engine that they have to the right, Joe, to the right. That right in the front of that fire engine, there's that round ball thing there, yeah. Now go forward, and I think it's the same, yeah, it's that same, there's that round ball in the front there. This particular photo was taken on Broad, not that one, next one.
Oh, you're talking about this thing?
Yeah, that thing,
All right.
the boiler, right? That's the same one.
Mhm.
This particular shot is actually taken on Broadway. Not the building in front that says millinery, but the building to the left of it, which is the Loy building, is right across the street from what everybody knows as Bilatti's, which is now Strata Pizza. The millinery building is
okay.
about where a dance would have been.
So that's a
This
Strata.
one's probably 1890s. Looks like they had a little action in this one.
This is the 20s.
Yep, this is a 1925 fire engine. I don't know if they're just all cracked. No, they don't look too messed up. The rubber coats on.
Interesting how things have changed.
There
This
we
one
are.
is probably 1890s.
Yeah, this one you can see, this is the number, does that say number 1 on there, right there?
Number
Yep.
9.
Oh, no. Number 1, and old with a, yeah. So this is the east side, that's the number 1, and that's the City Hall building. Oh yeah, and the Lee building is to the left, the warehouse.
Similar to the one at Heritage Hill.
There's another
I don't
shot
know
of
who this
that.
guy is, but he was the fire chief.
Yeah, fire chief, and it's number 1, so this is the east side
Oh, nice.
fireman. If you go, yeah, this would be the west side now. This building is the one that was across the street from where Ambrosius used to be. Correct?
Yeah.
Right. Fourth and Reed, thank you, Jim.
Okay,
Appreciate that. And you can see there, west side, number 2 fire department.
Oh, okay.
This one shook Joe up a little bit.
I always thought that this was a dead body here. Well, you look at it, you got a head, you got an overcoat, he's reclining, but you move in on it, that's a bell.
Yeah.
Does look good.
And if it was a dead body,
Oh,
why
that's
was
too
he-
funny.
Zoom back out on that one, because there's another little bit of history here. This is in front of the Union Hotel,
Oh,
and you'll notice, we'll see another picture later on when we do the Union Hotel history. That was the ladies' entrance. They had a separate entrance to go in. They weren't allowed in the bar back in the day. They had a little separate area. But we'll also probably share a bar picture, and you'll understand, not that they weren't allowed into the bar, I don't think we wanted them in the bar, because there was a motley crew inside of there.
Well, times haven't changed.
Employees. And an interesting shot here,
Oh,
they
bigger.
obviously decided to do the photo on the east side. They must have brought the west side one over, because this is number 2 fire department, to come over and have their picture taken in front of the Union and the City Hall building. The City Hall building was built in 1883, and the hotel was built, I'm sorry, City Hall was 1873, the hotel was built in 1883. And that's a little bit newer truck. Maybe somebody can help us. That was a purchase in the 1970s, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah.
It's a 100-foot aerial platform. It's built, it was bought from Pierce Manufacturing in Appleton. That one was about, I think it was $482,000.
Oh, my.
482,000, wow. The shoe, go back to that just because there's other things in there. That's the shoe house right next door. The Shoe family lived in that house. And it was still fire station number 1. Another shot, we're back out in front of the City Hall building again. Eventually they moved the fire department out of there. Instead of stabling them there, my great-grandfather built a barn adjacent to the hotel. And one of the things he had was a contract with the city to stable the horses for the fire department for $1,800 a year. Lasted from 1918 when he built the thing until 1925 when they got the motorized one and got rid of the horses.
So he's got
It's
these.
that similar shot. You can see if you zoom in on the hardware building there, the hardware building, that's the Loy family. That's the DePere True, is it True Value Hardware out there by where Dairy Queen used to be? True Value Hardware? That True Value Hardware
Oh.
actually started in 1848 in this location. So if they saved a nail from every year, they'd have that many nails. It wouldn't be surprised because usually people keep those things. But that's one of the oldest continually run hardware stores probably in the state from 1848 because they were in this location. It went from the Loy family to the Pratch family to the Krieger family, and then it moved a block to the south where Danon had it for a period of time. Missing some names in here, and then eventually moved out by Dairy Queen out there. You can see the Lee building in the background. Here we go.
Lee building.
California House.
California House in that picture became a Lee store eventually. That's,
Pete Herbert.
that would be Arnie Herber's brother or cousin?
Carrega.
Brother. Arnie Herber's brother.
Oh my
Pete Herbert was
God.
the fire chief. This photo is from 1951.
Wow.
They're removing the bell from the tower. We talked about this yesterday. I think this is the West Side station, right?
I think so.
And that tower that was up there, that's where some of you may have done the Civil Air Patrol back in the 1950s when, as kids, you went up there and you were with your binoculars looking for invading planes, attacking De Pere. How many did that? Anybody in here do that? Civil Air Patrol?
Probably they did.
There we go. Got one gentleman back there. I know it was something that happened in the 50s. There's that little horn again. Kurtz was a photographer in De Pere. Assuming that's the... How'd that get?
The reason I put this up here is that in his efforts to be as frugal as possible, McKinboy discovered that Jiffy Pop was a very effective fire alarm because if a fire broke out, you smelled the popcorn.
I never thought of that. Good idea.
I had a picture of it above the door in the bar. I can't remember what happened to that. Where are we here?
I think you went through them all.
Really?
Yeah. Now you gotta go to the action ones.
Oh, the action ones.
Yeah.
I can tell you something about that FWD that opened, it was all open.
Yep.
And what we saw there in the beginning. Now, back in the day, when I worked there, you might remember Mickey McDonald.
Yeah, I remember Mickey McDonald.
I worked many years with Mickey, but he was there longer than I mean, he started before me, and so he would tell me some of these old stories. And he said that old FWD that came out of the #1 station, he said he can remember going to a fire when he was just early on the department, and if you remember the bridge, you know, it had that upgrade there going from east to the west, and they were headed to the west side to a fire, and he said it didn't have much power, and they had to really shift down into low gears to make it up that grade. And he said the siren was blaring, the red lights going, and they're giving it all they can. He said, and there was kids on the sidewalk on their bikes passing them up.
Did the kids put the fire out, I hope?
He said it started to rain, and he said the fire
Oh, there you go.
was just going, but he said it was raining just as hard inside as it was in.
They decided to replace it at that point?
Oh,
I think so.
Did we see this one before?
Yes, we
Yeah.
did.
How about this one?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so.